Hi, this is Kadvi Rana from Logistics Insider, and I'm reaching you all from BLR Airport, which is recognized for its high service level and operational efficiency. BLR Airport is equipped with cutting-edge technology and high logistics services, which are backed by cargo terminals like Menzies Aviation Bangalore Private Limited and WFS Bangalore Private Limited. The airport currently provides connections to 25 international and 75 domestic locations with 15 freighters. Most recently, the airport has bagged the top position in exporting perishable cargoes in India. This is the third consecutive year that the airport has maintained its top position. Today, I am joined by Mr. Satyaki Raghunath to dive deep into the cargo operations at the airport. Mr. Satyaki currently is leading the strategy and development vertical at the airport. Welcome, Mr. Satyaki. Hope you've had a wonderful day. First I would like to congratulate you because as of yesterday, T2 has officially commenced international operations. So what are your thoughts on that, and maybe how will it impact T1 operations, because we understand that T1 is soon going to go into refurbishment as soon as we start operations at T2. So
Sure, thank you. Really pleased to be here. And from our perspective, it's the culmination of a very long journey. T2 as an idea was conceptualized many years ago, and it's taken a while, especially with COVID and some of those challenges, to deliver. But the Honorable Prime Minister inaugurated it last November. As you know, domestic operations started transitioning over this January, and we did that in a phased way till the end of August. And now international operations have moved completely as of yesterday, so we're very excited. We will now begin the process of T1 refurbishment, and then over the course of the next few years, we will also add a second phase to T2 to increase capacity eventually, and then there's a plan for a future T3 as well.
well, that's a great insight about T3. I'm sure most of our readers and most of the people are not aware of T3, so thank you for sharing that. Coming up, we also know in May, WFS forayed into the Indian market from Bangalore Airport, which is a big thing in the cargo industry. So how has this collaboration helped cargo operations at the airport? And if you can also mention some of the collaborations that are upcoming from Bangalore Airport, some of the collaborations that you may have forged in the past and are looking to forge in the future.
No, I think what we need to do in order to answer this question is step back a little bit. We came up with a cargo strategy in terms of growing our market share about 5 years ago. And that project was a very concerted effort here that we developed at Bangalore International Airport. It was called Project Titan. And the focus was on how do we increase cargo volumes to the airport and how do we increase market share. And when we did that, we had a number of initiatives that were part of this sort of wider strategy. And part of that also coincided with the fact that our older cargo concessions, which were essentially where we were landlords, with our two previous concessionaires, were going to expire at the end of May 2023 when we celebrated our 15th anniversary. And therefore, we put in place a number of initiatives, including improving the physical infrastructure here at the airport, improving the digital infrastructure, and bringing new concessionaires on board. And as part of doing that, we also thought about moving away from a model where we were just the landlord, which is what we had done for the first 15 years, and going into joint venture partnerships with leading cargo players. And that was what culminated in WFS and Menzies coming on board and becoming our partners for the next 15 years as part of this story. So now we have joint ventures with Menzies and with WFS, and they're both on board, and they will then operate these two terminals and build new facilities as well and expand over the course of the next 15 years. So as part of that development, we are going to build a new domestic cargo terminal. It will start off with about 250,000 metric ton capacity annually, but it'll be eventually, we can probably expand it to about 400,000 metric tons. We are going to expand our cold chain facilities eventually to get to about 80,000 metric tons annually. We've also in the process of, delivering a logistics park with grade A warehousing, and that will be ready sometime next year, and that will be about 370,000 square feet of space, grade A space here. And all of this together, along with the facilities that we've now developed, which includes our truck parking facility, which is down the road, improving our cargo landside roadway capacity, improving the digital infrastructure through the ACS and things like that, are all projects which have sort of worked very well in terms of expanding our market share and doing what we set out to do. And as a final piece of that, we also have the express cargo terminal here, which is the first in India. And there we've got all of the integrators like UPS, FedEx, and DHL, etc., who are sitting there with EICI. And that's also something that we visualized about 5 years ago. So all of this is not something that was just, piecemeal and by accident, but it was very carefully designed over a 5-year period. And I think what we are very gratified by is the fact that it's paid off. We've sort of started seeing the benefits of this. We have a significant amount of South India's market share now, and we've particularly done well from a perishable perspective, which is, I think, the focus of the event here in Bangalore.
Yeah. So you mentioned perishable, and we understand that BLR Airport has a power suite in perishables and pharmaceutical handling. So how can I not ask a question on that? So, my question is, BLR Airport is maintaining its position as India's leading airport for handling perishables for the 3rd time in a row. What has went into establishing that position for BLR and continuing that trend till now? And are we expecting to continue that trend in the future?
So, I'd certainly like to think so. I think we've done very well, and it's a combination of having the right infrastructure, thinking about the right strategy, and having an incredibly good team here, along with stakeholders who are very supportive. So if you take what I said earlier and think about that wider strategy that we discussed, we also wanted to make sure that we focus on the perishable area and sort of on the cold chain, because it's high value, right? It's greater yields, it's a greater benefit to the end user and the customer. And our principle was that we lose a lot of produce, we lose a lot of perishables when they get from production to, let's say, their destination. And that's the biggest challenge in terms of the cold chain being sort of contaminated or getting broken. And I think we've really sort of worked on making sure that we work with our partner stakeholders, the cargo players, the agents, the consumer at the end, the customer and the producer, for instance, to make sure that that cold chain is unbroken. So over the course of the last 2 or 3 years, we've really sort of made efforts to work with the surrounding community, to work with the stakeholder community, and make sure that we've expanded not just our physical facilities and capabilities here, but streamlined the entire process. And that's what I alluded to when I said we've gotten better infrastructure from a physical perspective, but equally we've got a phenomenal investment that we've made in the digital side of things as well, for better tracking, better visibility, and making sure that our partners realize that we've invested. And our partners are also very, very aware, acutely aware of the fact that we really care about their goods at the end of the day. And I think, the gratifying part, like I said earlier, is the fact that we're able to articulate the benefit to the other side. There's no point in us just saying that we built the facilities. If the consumer or the end user or the partner can't see the benefit, it's a very difficult proposition to sell. So I think we've done very well for the last 3 years. We believe we are well positioned to serve as the gateway to South and Central India. And we hope to continue that same trend over the course of the next few years. We have about 41% of market share as far as South India is concerned from a perishable perspective. We have about between 27-30% depending on the year in terms of an all India perspective. So certainly, it's thrilling. We're the 3rd busiest cargo airport in India, but from a perishables perspective, we've been the busiest. It is something we'd like to continue.
Well, sir, thank you for that well explained answer, and you very well put how customer is always the king. Coming to my final and last question, what are your future plans for BLR Cargo? How do you look to expand in terms of physical infrastructure, in terms of technology, and in terms of overall growth of the airport cargo operations?
So I think that question can be answered in a couple of different ways. I think at an airport-wide level, we've just completed a large investment, roughly $2 billion investment in the largest sort of expansion since the airport opened. And that involved the development of a new runway, which is Code F capable, the first phase of a new passenger terminal, expansion of cargo facilities, expansion of landside facilities, expansion of utilities, so on and so forth. And that has sort of taken the better part of the last 5 years, including COVID, right? And we've delivered a large amount of infrastructure. I think, but given the growth rates in India, given sort of what the government is doing from a policy perspective, which has been hugely helpful in terms of improving, cargo and logistics, as well as the aviation, air cargo in particular, I think we believe that the market in India is just at the cusp of doing bigger and better things. So from that perspective, as I said before, we today have a cargo capacity here of about 715,000 metric tons annually. We're doing about 425 to 430,000 metric tons today. But we have that capacity that exists, but we are also thinking that we will invest over the course of the next few years to take us out to somewhere between 1 and 1.2 million metric tons here on this campus. And we've got space for growth even further, to drive growth even further. But I think the focus will be on building world-class infrastructure, both in terms of physical infrastructure, whether it's buildings, warehouses, systems, etc., or whether it's sort of continually investing and upgrading in our digital infrastructure here across the airport, which means that we can work better with all of our partners and stakeholders. And finally, I think the other thing that has really worked in our favor is that over the last 5 years, we've done exceptionally well with the airlines, which means that some of the world's biggest carriers, whether they're passenger carriers who carry cargo in their belly, or the integrators like FedEx, UPS, DHL, have significantly expanded their presence here in Bangalore. Which is why I think they see it. They see the value in coming to Bangalore. They see sort of the potential of not just the city of Bangalore or Bangalore Airport, which has got world-class infrastructure, but South India in general, South and Central India at a wider scale. And the fact is that we're able to pull so much from the hinterland. And I'm hoping that we can capitalize on that significantly over the next few years and make sure that we will deliver or continue to deliver that sort of world-class commitment and product that we have to our consumers and end users. And hopefully we'll do all the right things and it'll work in our favor.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing a continuous success journey of BLR Airport like we have seen in the past. And congratulations once again for the T2.
Thank you so much, and also from our perspective, thank you so much for organizing CCUB here in Bangalore this year. We believe it's a very appropriate time and I think the right topic. And it's something that all of our partners in industry are looking to hear. So all the best on the event and all the best on sort of your continued success as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.